we understand that they are Irish rather than English or Scottish or some other country, because that was the history as suggested by the family when they donated them to the North Vancouver Museum. Each museum these days specializes in their own territory, whatever that is, and for most community museums it means their own community. That's who they're documenting. So they accepted these because they were truly old and very beautiful and charming, but they don't fit into their local history mandate.
They're bespoke.
These are extremely light, considering how heavy they look and clumpy. Mm-hmm. They are completely handmade, and that's part of the impressive nature of them. It is conceivable that these were worn in the winter because they are wool and not silk. They also used kid leather, and on the sole you can see that the sole is in fact a very heavy-duty kind of leather, and it's hard as a rock. They were meant to be worn by someone in a privileged situation. The embroidery was probably not done by the shoemaker. It was done by someone who either did it as a craft or as a source of income. They were probably quite a bit whiter in their original form, but the colors of the crewel work embroidery have survived beautifully, and they are very, very vibrant. Crewel work is a very old technique. It's essentially a chain stitch, so you just work the needle through the thread over and over again, and each stitch is threaded through the previous stitch as it forms a loop as it's pulled through the thread, and then you can create these meandering lines. It's not impossible that it's inspired by Asian embroideries, particularly Indian, and if you think of some of the set-in work in buildings such as the Taj Mahal and whatnot, where you see these beautiful floral trailing vines and things like that. These shoes are meant to be seen. They are ornaments. It's the whole concept of the woman as the ornamental object. You have to, if you want to really understand these from a sort of an anthropological point of view, these are objectifying. This is a woman whose role is to be an ornament in the households of the men in her life, her father's household, her husband's household, or her son's when the time comes. So that is her function, is to demonstrate the social position and the financial position of the household. These flaps here that might seem a mystery to us were meant to thread through a buckle, and I brought an 18th century shoe buckle today. These two tabs thread through in opposite directions under and over, and then to tighten the shoe, the two straps are pulled in opposite directions to secure the shoe on your foot. A high heel shortens the apparent length of the foot because you're taking up less room on the floor. Sounds a bit silly to us, but it has that advantage. It also makes you look taller and you have more presence. You also appear to be more slender if that's an ambition for you. So these are all things to keep in mind. Continental shoes of the same period, in other words in France, Germany, Italy and such places, the heels tend to be thinner. In Ireland, England, other parts of what's now the UK, it tended to be worn by people who had a more rural kind of lifestyle, so the heels tend to be more substantial. The idea of having a small foot has value as well because it's seen as an aristocratic kind of attribute. If you are a working class or a peasant person, you're going to be rough and ready, and you have to be built for labor. A woman of privilege wants something which is delicate, that reflects her social position. Remember, Cinderella got the prince because she had the tiniest foot in the kingdom.